Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News. Guys, we are back for another Real Housewives of Orange County recap, and I have so many thoughts as per usual.
Oh my God. We've got squatters, we've got single white females, we've got new feuds brewing, and just makes me feel alive.
It's safe to say that Real Housewives of Orange County is officially back. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. I think that they're setting up for a phenomenal season.
I agree. I have so many thoughts and I want to get into it. But before we dive into Orange County, I do want to talk about the literal Bravo breaking news that just dropped about 30 minutes ago. And it's not unrelated to Orange County. It is a new show that is premiering on Peacock. And guys, like, this is what we've been asking for forever. So let me bring up the headline. It says, Peacock sets Real Housewives dating show spinoff with Luann de Lesseps, Giselle Bryant, Shannon Storms Bedore, and Ashley Darby. I mean, I have no words. Some of the details are it's basically going to be like Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip mixed with Love Island. And they are going to be filming in September in Cabo. Lisa, I have to get your thoughts on all of this because I am like ecstatic.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm shaking. I'm physically shaking. This is something that is brand new to the Bravo universe. Like, they've never done a dating type show with housewives. And I think they picked a really interesting crew. I will say none of these ladies are going to stand a chance against Luann. Okay. Whoever Luann wants, Luann's going to get. And just good luck to the rest of them, basically. But I think this will be fun. Love Island has been such a hit. I know you are a super fan, and it's a fun way to mix the franchises and kind of breathe fresh air into the Housewives world that we love.
I agree. I mean, let's be real. Luann could carry a show like this on her own. Like, I think we could
100%.
center a whole dating show around Luann. But the fact that we are going to integrate these other housewives from other franchises, I don't know if it's maybe going to be a competition like show where they're going to be, I'm sure some of them are going to like the same guys. I
Yeah.
don't know, but it is going to be epic. I am so excited. I mean, Peacock is really stepping up the content plate, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, they are keeping me subscribed, that's for sure.
For sure.
And speaking of subscribing, don't forget to subscribe to Bravo Breaking News if you're joining us. If you're watching this later, thank you for your support and make sure to subscribe.
Thank you. Yes, hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's dive into last night's OC.
Okay, so we kind of pick back up with Gina and Jen in the coffee shop, and Gina is really coming for Jen. And I gotta say, I get it. I totally understand where Gina's coming from. She went out on a limb to get Jen this house and even vouched for her in terms of credit. She kind of bypassed the credit check because she said, this is my friend. She's on the show, whatever. And 4 months in or 5 months in, Jen gets evicted for not paying rent. Like, that's embarrassing. And I would be pissed if I was Gina. So I understand why she's so upset. And the fact that Jen is just kind of, well, I don't understand why you're so upset and why you're talking about my business. Like, my head would probably explode. And so Gina just decides to walk out. And, she calls Emily. We see Jen calling Shannon, and they're kind of both telling their sides of the story. So where do you stand on this?
I have a little bit of a different take because
Okay.
although I think that, of course, like Jen, like get it together. She's relying on her ex-husband for all of this money to pay the rent, and that's not good. However, Gina is so worried about her reputation as a realtor, okay? And she's been a realtor for what, all of maybe 6 months or less. Like, she has been in this position before. She has had financial struggles. I think that she's too worried about her reputation and not like considering the fact that, oh, like maybe this girl like needs a little bit of like leeway and support. And also about the whole reputation thing. Gina, okay, you're on a reality show that millions, maybe not millions, maybe a million close to
Maybe a single million.
you're so worried about your reputation as a realtor, maybe you shouldn't be bringing this to the show and telling the whole world that you let somebody who couldn't pay their rent into a house. Like right now, I think maybe less than 10 people in OC know about this, but you're bringing this onto a show that thousands and thousands of people watch. So you're kind of
Okay,
ruining your own
fair.
reputation there.
Fair point, fair point. But don't you think that because she's new to this career, her reputation is even more important? Like you have to make a name for yourself and you have to get agents to want to work with you. And I just think it's not a great look. And it- I think it also hits harder for her because when she was going through something similar, she really had to, make those tough decisions. She moved into someone's guest house and she had to make it work because she knew that's all she could afford. So seeing that Jen is not making those sacrifices, I think it makes it harder for Gina to have that empathy towards her.
I agree. And I think that Jen, like, I could go on and on about Jen right now, but like, she was raised a certain way. Her family is wealthy. Her ex husband was wealthy. We'll get into this from the flag football game, but she's never owned her own credit card. She's never had
Yeah.
access to money. So, like, to her, like, she doesn't know anything else. It's like, I'm pretty sure it kind of seems like she went from living with her wealthy parents to probably living with her wealthy ex-husband. I don't know that for a fact, but
Mhm.
she doesn't know any better. She doesn't know any different. She doesn't know how to support herself. And it's sad to watch.
I think that's right. And when she was on with Shannon and she said, "The money that Will gives me, that's all I have." It's like, well, yeah, that's exactly Gina's point, and that's the problem. But you're right. I don't know that we can completely, like, come after her so hard because she just she never learned. But is it like she never learned because she, just wanted to be taken care of? Like, as women, like, you have to take care of yourself first. You cannot rely on someone else. And just having that financial literacy, even understanding how a credit card works and getting one in your own name to establish your own credit, like, that is so important.
I agree. I agree. So trust me, this is not over. But let's move on to the flag football game. So the ladies gather in Huntington Beach. And for those of you who don't know, I live in Huntington Beach. So every time they film here, I am upset that I did not get a notification that they were going to be filming in my city. Next time, call me. But
Have you been to that Sahara bar?
I mean, that is I don't think that's a real bar, guys. That's
Oh,
like a beach hut with maybe like snacks and drinks. Like I'm pretty sure they hire those bartenders to be there. I don't know.
okay.
It's a show. But so we get everybody arriving. Of course, Emily's like, well, I have to invite Alexis because she's a cast member on this show or a friend of. So we get Alexis, and immediately she's the topic of conversation. She kind of like takes over the conversation. Of course, Shannon arrives too, but we get some interesting tidbits about Alexis. First, she has sex with John up to 4 times a day. I think they do a
Ugh.
flashback to this. I am Emily in this moment. I would die and hide in a closet if that's what was
Same.
happening. And just picturing, don't picture it. But if I were to have to picture it, Alexis and Johnny J, I mean,
Ugh.
I just can't. I
I
just
am
can't.
so tired of these ladies shoving it down our throats that they all have sex 4 times a day or 4 times a night in Larsa's, situation. Like, just stop. No one believes you, okay? It is not, and no one wants that. Like, who has the time?
I know. Get a job, do something productive instead of doing that. But then it's like this whole thing about the gym and the trainer. And I want to get your thoughts on this because I guess Shannon and John went to the same gym and shared a trainer. Of course, now they're not together, but John has started bringing Alexis to the same gym with the same trainer. And Alexis is basically like, I don't think it's uncomfortable. Like, she doesn't own the gym. It's John's gym. Like, and like making all of these excuses. I personally think it's weird of John to bring
Yeah.
Alexis to the gym that he shared with Shannon. What do you think?
100%. And this is all so petty that that's why it's just it it makes it even the better because it's like, well, you're taking her to my trainer, to the trainer that we had together. It's just so petty. But Alexis is obnoxious, okay? And John is annoying as shit. Like, yeah, don't bring her to the same trainer, the same place. Like, it's just rubbing it in her face. And, with every breakup, there's going to be like custody battles between things, but like, just let Shannon have it. All right.
Yeah, I can see what you're doing, John Jansen, and I don't like it one bit.
No, we do not. I am not subscribing to the Johnny J rebrand that he's such a nice guy. No, I'm sorry. He's a piece of shit.
Nobody believes that except Alexis Bellino.
Right. So, okay, then we get into the football arena, right? And Heather's the ref, even though she says she only knows about football because Taylor Swift's boyfriend plays football. None of them really know what they're doing. We get Alexis pulling Shannon's flag, but Heather still gives her the touchdown. And I'm like, thank you, Heather. That was a real friend. That was a girl's girl. And then Gina the Destroyers win versus Team Love, which, like, could you think of a lamer team name? That was just really bad. And also, like, why are we using puff paint to decorate t-shirts? Like, they couldn't have pre-ordered some t-shirts. The
Well,
whole thing was very low budget.
and like Shannon spent probably 2 hours ironing
Ironing.
on these letters to her custom jersey only for her to show up and have to put puff paint on a white sweatshirt.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And I just expected more in season, whatever we are in for OC, 17 or something. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gina and Jen start getting into it after the game. And, Gina says, Jen, you have to figure it out and hustle, which I think we all agree. And I think, Jen is asking for some grace here. But, like, again, I think Gina is kind of triggered by this because she didn't have the time to get grace. Like, that wasn't a choice for her. She had to put her big girl panties on, go out, earn money, move into a smaller house and make it work. So I think it's the fact that Jen is sort of like easing into this, I think is like triggering for Gina.
Well, it shouldn't be triggering enough to fucking call her a squatter. Like that to me, I gasped when she said that because technically, I don't think she was squatting. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the real rules, but that's a low blow.
Well, if you're
Super
living in a
low
house and you're not paying
blow.
for it, I mean, that you're a squatter.
Apparently, she didn't even know it wasn't getting paid for, which is even worse than if she like knew and was trying to figure her shit out. She
Yeah.
didn't know. She's never had access to the money. She's never had a
Ugh.
credit card, like I said, and she's just sitting there, kind of like breaking down, but also holding it together. She's basically like, if something happened with Ryan, I would be homeless and have no car because I guess that Ryan gave her his car and like inherited the debt from hers or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I know we've seen Ryan in the past and we know these current headlines going around, but he does seem to be supporting Jen in this, having her move in with the kids, inheriting the debt, helping her, pay for stuff. Like, I kind of am seeing a different side of him, and it kind of seems like he's being super supportive and like a good, really good boyfriend to her at this point. Because without him, yeah, she'd be on the streets or moving back in with her parents in where, Ohio?
But I need to understand what went wrong with the ex-husband. Like, he just stopped paying. I think in the first episode, she said that he maybe stopped working with the family firm or something. Like, maybe he lost his job. I don't know. But, like, It's just the whole thing is just so messy. And I don't remember who called it out, but they're like, Jen, you're putting yourself in the exact same situation that you were in with your ex, where Ryan is now taking care of everything and paying for everything. And like, it's just a slippery slope.
It's a real slippery slope, and I do feel bad for her. I do feel bad, but, yeah, I guess that yoga studio isn't really pulling in the dough.
Yeah. Well, she needs to get herself some brand deals. She needs to, use this platform that she now has and figure something out, because enough of relying on the men in your life.
I agree. And then so Gina also brings up like the Travis of it all, which we know about, but I think this is the first time that the women are hearing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone seems kinda shocked, like, especially Shannon and Jen. Um, and as she's explaining, Tamara's like, "This does not make sense to me," and it's like, "Yeah, same, Tamara. This doesn't make sense to anyone." And I think, Gina says, "We're not doing this to break up. I hope that we stay together," but, like, let's be real. I think that Gina is doing this as a step in the breakup process. I think that she's kind of maybe drifting apart from Travis. She's kind of over his drama with the ex. And she's just kind of saying, you know what, we need to move out because the kids need more space. And it's like, that's kind of her excuse. But I think in her head, she knows that it's over. And so she's just sort of breaking it off gently. And this is the first step. What do you think? What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though it's kind of weird. I don't know if we're just not seeing the whole story. I'm sure we're not. But to the cameras in confessionals, she's saying, I'm over all the drama with Travis's ex. But to his face, she's saying, oh,
Right.
the kids need more space. So, like, which is it? And are you
Right.
actually communicating to him the actual reason, which is you're fed up with the drama because of his ex? Like, we haven't really seen her say that to him. It's always been about more space for the kids. So I don't know. There's definitely something like weird going on there.
Definitely. And, at the end of the episode, we see Travis packing and she starts getting upset. And he's sort of like, well, this is your decision. Like, I, w- what do you want from me? She's kind of waffling back and forth, like, oh, I don't want you to leave and it's going to be really hard. And he's like, okay, well, I don't want to leave either. So why are we doing this? It's just, she needs to make up her mind.
Yeah. So I don't know how to feel about Gina because in past seasons, to be honest, I really haven't liked her. I've wondered why she was even a housewife. She definitely seems to be stepping it up this season. Like so far, she's
Yeah.
been one of like the main storylines of the past 3 episodes. But like, I don't know. I have to wonder if she's like, it kind of seems like she's almost now, you know, I'm saying this with I'm treading lightly, but like kind of on her high horse a little bit because
Mm,
now she's like this successful realtor and she's gonna shame Jen and put her down for her all of her issues and like break up with her boyfriend and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I think to me, Travis seems like a good guy. It seems like they have a good something going. He even said, I think the kids would rather stay here in this
right.
small space than separate. So I don't know. I don't know, Gina. Something weird's going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Okay. Go ahead.
so we get this scene where we have Tamara and Jen going for a walk. And look who shows up but Alexis. And at first, you almost think that she is showing up with Archie Bador. But no, no, no. It's an Archie look-alike. Lisa,
No.
I can't even. What were
Immediately,
your
no.
thoughts when you saw Archie 2.0?
I mean, okay, Alexis says that she, is not jealous of Shannon. It's certainly not looking that way, Alexis. First, you get with Shannon's boyfriend. Then you go start going to Shannon's gym and using her trainer. Then you get a dog that looks exactly like Shannon's. Like, it is weird. Okay. And Emily says later, it's giving single white female. And yes, that's exactly what it's giving. It's looking like you're obsessed with Shannon.
Oh, 100%. She is infiltrating her lives. She is becoming Shannon Bador. And it's tough to watch. Like, I don't know. I'm happy that Alexis is in the fold. I think she's bringing some necessary drama, but I hope that there's like more to her than just becoming like, John Jansen's like,
Mm,
what is it called when like sloppy seconds, basically. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hope that there's more. I hope that she brings some other drama, but oh, I don't know. I guess Shannon also brings up that I guess the gym stuff all got resolved because like the trainer, I guess, like confronted Alexis and John about, how it's weird and he doesn't want any drama and like made some comment about like how Alexis talks about sex so much and then John like lost his shit. I don't know. It's all getting
Well,
very, very weird.
yeah, Alexis made some claim like, "No, I don't bring any drama. Like, I'm a good Christian girl." And he was like, "A good Christian girl who talks about her sex life." And then John lost it. And it's like, he's like, "We'll never be back here." Good. Bye.
Yeah. So that's that was a lot. We have Pat weighing in about a some of Gina and Jen's issues. So she says, I was in real estate 42 years. Foreclosures are a public record. If you bring me a bad client, we're done. I won't do business with you again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that I think it's safe to say Gina will not be doing business with Jen ever again. I think that's a safe move. But I still think, she needs to, I don't know. I feel like she shouldn't be spewing all of this business on national television, but she is on a reality show. So speaking of Gina and houses, so we get this lunch scene and we saw it in the trailer. Everyone's favorite Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, at least one of my favorites, Sutton Strack enters the chat. It
Yeah.
was such a good scene. What did you think of Sutton's like cameo? It seemed very natural, her coming in with Katie and Gina. They seem to have a natural connection. I guess Gina knows Sutton because her ex-husband was the president of the mutual fund company where Gina's ex-husband worked. Fun
Right.
fact, I did not know about that until just now. So there is kind of like a natural connection, which is interesting.
Yeah, at first I thought their connection was probably purely just Bravo events, and Beverly Hills OC, like there's probably some crossover events. But it was interesting to hear that they kind of do have that history. And Gina makes this comment like Sutton did way better in her divorce than I did in mine,
Oh
which was
yeah,
pretty
like
funny. Yeah,
probably tenfold, 20-fold, like
yeah.
times 100.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I liked seeing Sutton come in because she was friends with Katie. And so we're kind of getting this, backstory of how it all came together. And I want to hear your thoughts on Katie. Like, do you think she's fitting in? Do you think she is bringing anything? What's your, it's only been 2 episodes. Sometimes it takes a newbie a little bit to settle in. But what's your take on Katie so far?
I like her so far. I mean, we haven't gotten much from her. I like her confessionals. I like her home life. She seems to be, I don't know, a nice girl, but I'm not sure how I feel about her and Heather's little feud that's
Yeah.
brewing over, I don't know, some very like minute experiences with each other, in my opinion.
Totally, totally. So I think this is where Katie's kind of trying to reach and find something to be, bring the drama. But so she's telling Sutton that, I met Heather at your party and she kind of snubbed me a little bit, which who knows the real story, but it's like when you're at a party, things are loud and like you're talking to multiple people. Sometimes you might not hear if someone's saying something to you, and you might accidentally give off the impression that you're turning away from them or something, but you don't even realize it. I feel like that was probably what happened, and Katie took it as a snub. But now she's saying, that Heather tagged her in some photo, which is so weird that she wasn't in. And then Heather saying, "Nice to meet you" at her party, when they had very clearly met before. That's annoying to me. But I don't know that it's all of this is like a reason to go up against Heather. And I think Sutton is kind of trying to advise Katie that, look, I wouldn't want to go up against Heather. Like, stay away, stay on her good side. But Katie doesn't seem like, she's going to take that advice.
Yeah, I agree with you about the party. I feel like it would, if I'm in a room at like a gathering at a party and there's somebody across the room that I like kind of know but don't really know, like I'm probably not gonna go up and to them and say hi. Like I don't know. I feel like that's just normal. The picture tagging is very odd. I see almost seems like it was like a mistake or I
Right.
don't know. I do want to hear Heather's explanation for that. I feel like I'm having deja vu because didn't this happen like in another franchise at some point, like some
I
sort of tagging issue?
Yes, I feel like it definitely happened, and I can't remember what it was, and then it's also reminding me of last season's Potomac with, like, Dr. Wendy and the other girl who, "Oh, Eddie knew my husband, but, like, they didn't know each other, but they were friends on Facebook, but then they unfriended." It's like, I who cares? Like, just
Yeah.
start fresh and that take it from there. Like, don't take everything so seriously.
I completely agree. So we'll see where that goes. That's definitely going to, I think, blow up next episode, or in the next couple episodes. But so we're not getting a whole lot from Emily, to be honest. We did get this like kind of funny scene between her and Shane. And I mean, it wasn't funny because she's talking about how like she's obsessed with working out. Her kids like see her always doing this and are kind of like questioning it. Meanwhile, Shane is traipsing around the house all day with a big gulp that he goes and gets at 7-Eleven every single morning, fills up to the brim, and just like traipses around with all day, which like that montage, like sent me. I was laughing out loud. Like he leaves it in the bathroom, he leaves it in the bedroom, he leaves it on the counter. And it's just like you see it like getting drank all day. So they're just trying to find a balance between that. And he doesn't really care. He's like, I don't have time to be healthy, which I get his it's like they are two extremes. Um, and I don't know. What were your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, and I think I liked that they were talking about this because it also brings up the idea that, just because you're slim, like Shane, it doesn't mean you're healthy. So he doesn't seem to have problems with like his weight or anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's healthy. Like he doesn't exercise, he doesn't eat right, and he, is consuming a large amount of soda. And then he's also like kind of being hypocritical because he's telling his teenage daughter like, "Oh, it's best to eat at home, like you shouldn't eat out all the time," which I completely agree with, but like you have to model that behavior was Emily's point. And yeah, so they're just on two like extreme sides of the spectrum here, and they need to meet in the middle. And like, Emily's just saying, "I don't want you to keel over and have a heart attack one day." And of course, Shane's dry humor. He's like, "Well, I don't play golf, so I'm not going to die out on the golf course." But I do want them to kind of, find some happy ground.
I agree. I mean, Shane has definitely grown on me. Like at first,
Oh, for
like I was
sure.
completely Kelly Dodd, even though I do not like Kelly Dodd in any way, but she was like, "You're a loser," like he's definitely like a little bit of like a dweeb energy, no offense, but like I say that with love because I kind of like him now. However, I do hope that Emily brings a different storyline other than her being obsessed with working out. I know
Mhm.
she looks amazing. I love that she is like curating this healthier lifestyle. I just want a little bit more from my housewives, a little bit more of a story. I know she's kind of like the pot stirrer. She tends to be that in the group, kind of, bringing up topics to make the women kind of start going at it and stuff. But all I'm saying is, I just hope this isn't her only storyline.
Yeah, totally. Um, okay, so we end the episode with this scene between Gina and Travis that's pretty somber. And I know I already touched on it before, but Travis is packing up all his things and Gina is basically like kind of second guessing their decision, or her decision, I should say. And I just think it's not fair to Travis because he seems like he is not interested in making this move, but basically Gina wants it. And so he, what's he going to do? I think he has the energy of like, I'm not going to like fight to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. And it just was kind of sad.
It was sad. I do think they make a good couple. I don't know. I Have they tried therapy? Like, I don't know. Like, I do want them to work it out. It just kind of seems like they're not on the same page. Like, once again, Gina's saying one thing in the confessional and a different thing to his face. And she's saying she's doing it for the kids, but he's saying that the kids would rather be together. So I don't know. It's kind of like a big mess. I think that this is going to continue to spiral out throughout the season. I kind of want to know more about what exactly is going on with his ex. Like, all we hear about is that there's drama with the
Right.
kids and the like custody of their shared children. But like, what is it? Like, what's going on? I have a feeling that maybe they're not allowed to talk about it. I think, is he not divorced yet? Or
I don't think
like,
so.
yeah, so there's probably like legal stuff going on. I don't know, but I kind of do want to hear more because it would explain a little bit more about the situation and Gina's kind of stance on things. Whereas right now, like, we don't really know much. We're kind of just going off of our opinions.
Yeah. So that was this week's episode. In the preview for next week, we see Vicky, which is exciting.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And we see her and Shannon talking trash about Johnny J, which I'm always down for. And we also get a snippet of Heather going after Katie or I guess Katie is maybe coming for Heather and Heather is retaliating. We know Fancy Pants does not like to be called out on anything. So, Katie, you were warned, but let's see what happens.
You were warned. Yes, I'm living for this season of OC. I think it's only going to continue to get better. I also wonder if we will be graced by the presence of Johnny J this season. Will he be making an appearance with Alexis? I Your face says you might
I
not like
will
want that.
I will not
Um,
be sad if we don't see Johnny J.
but I
They're
think it
showing that picture with his bad veneers, and that's all I need to see.
Okay, all right. So, I guess I'll just keep wondering then. So, thank you guys all for tuning in to this live. We appreciate your comments, questions, everything. And make sure you guys subscribe so you are notified next week when we go live again for another OC recap.
Yeah, and shout out to Bobby. We see you in the comments. Hello, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.